What's up, witches? It's me, Luna, with the second unboxing of my birthday haul decks. This is a deck that I never heard of. This makes me so happy when I get decks that it's like, ooh, I've never heard of this. It's just exciting and new. This is Travis McHenry, the author of the Hieronymus Bosch deck, the new one that's all frickin' court cards, and the Vlad Dracula deck. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's Rockpool, and I'm interested that Rockpool seems to be exploring a whole new size and shape of deck for which my shelves are kind of pissed off because, you know, it's hard to organize now. Let's see, 412 decks, I believe is what I'm at. So Egyptian Star Oracle, an interesting little drawer configuration here. This was just released on July 3rd, so it is a bare month old. This oracle is not just an Egyptian-themed deck. It is an authentic Egyptian oracle that utilizes astrology as it was originally practiced in 2400 BCE. Okay. At the core of the deck are the 36 decans of Egyptian astrology, a group of fixed stars representing celestial deities who exercise power over events on Earth. Now, decans in astrology are, each sign is made of 30 degrees, and it has 3 decans. DEC, that's 10, right? Deca. So there are 3 decans of each sign making 36, and man, did it just get humid in here. Woof. Okay, unlike the decans of Western astrology, these are not only regions of the sky, but also cosmic forces capable of influencing the world around you. The cards are packed with transformative energy that allows the stars to lead you through your daily practice. And the included instruction book provides ancient rituals to help enhance your connection with the stars. Seasoned tarot readers will find many parallels between the meanings of this deck and the cards of the minor arcana. Okay. It's interesting because you sometimes get oracle decks that will have allusions to the major arcana, but not often the minor. And Travis McHenry, I'm looking forward to this because he does there's a lot of scholarship in his decks. The Vlad Dracula deck has facts from his life on every single card, or with every single card. The Hieronymus Bosch deck is a completely new thing, you know, and he really studied those artworks to pull out repeating themes and things like that. So here we go with this ancient astrology. It includes 42 cards, guidebook, and Eye of Horus amulet. Check it. I mean, you have to really pull the drawer all the way out. There's no surprises inside, except for this. That's a big surprise. It is, metallic. Not sure what kind of metal it is, but what a nice thing to give you. You know, let's put him right there so he can watch over the proceedings today. Here we have the chunky little book and the Rockpool thing. Let's take a little walk through the book. So yes, 2023, we have the introduction, card spreads, rituals to invoke the decans, the Egyptian calendar, and then the decans, which is the cards. Then at the end of the cards, we have major gods. There's 5. Day 1, Day 2, Day 3, Day 4, Day 5. Interesting about the author. Let's read about him. Travis McHenry is one of the world's foremost occultists and author of Occult Tarot, another one that I want, Angel Tarot, Vlad Dracula Tarot, and Hieronymus Bosch Tarot. He grew up in the backwoods of Pennsylvania, where he developed a passion for history and mystery, encountering ghosts in a 200-year-old house and chasing cryptid creatures through the shadowy forests. He studied anthropology at Bloomsburg University and Orange Coast College. According to his family genealogist and DNA testing, Travis is a descendant of Pharaoh Nectanebo II through his daughter, Queen Scotia. To embrace this heritage, in 2021, Travis undertook a pilgrimage to Egypt where he was baptized in the Nile River. Later, he was initiated as a priest of Anubis. There's no vowels in this little thing here, so and was anointed with holy sandalwood oil collected in Luxor. Wow, and he's travismchenry.com, at travis.mchenry, and at bloodstone.tarot. Okay, let's explore a little bit more. There's a lengthy introduction here, and when you have decks that have a lot of scholarship, I would like to read the first and the last paragraph. I have a theory in trying to boil down long introductions to get to what the author is trying to give us. I'm finding good writing has first and last paragraph really encapsulates, and the rest is detail. Okay. The Egyptian Star Oracle is the first of its kind, an oracle deck that uses only authentic Egyptian artwork, spells, translations, names, and meanings to create a divination tool that is wholly and entirely Egyptian. Howdy there, it's me checking in from post-production with some more information. I went back and looked at the whole introduction, and the second paragraph really has some vital information for us, so I want to read you that. Since the late 1800s, there have been countless attempts to create an Egyptian tarot, but at best, these are merely Egyptian-themed tarot decks because the ancient Egyptians had no concept of tarot. They didn't use the Hebrew alphabet in their magic, they didn't interpret their oracles through Persian astrology, and they had no interest in Gnostic Christian symbology. The Egyptians could not have used these foreign influences in their magic or astrology, as the Egyptian religion predates those other cultures by thousands of years. The Egyptian Star Oracle strips away these foreign influences by starting at the source, the pyramid texts, the coffin texts, the Egyptian calendar, and the Book of Nut. All of these texts and dozens of others that were used to build this deck came before the first known Persian horoscope was written in 600 BC. There are many, many mysteries left to uncover, and revealed wisdom comes to each of us in different ways. Aleister Crowley found his spirit guides in the Cairo Museum, so there's no reason you can't find yours while exploring the truth and wisdom of this wonderful oracle. Now, my eyes just kind of landed here. Before you read the rest of this guide, take a moment to familiarize yourself with the deck. I like that rather than a lot of decks that say, read this entire guidebook before you even pick up the deck, you know? These cards are more than a collection of images and symbols. They embody the stars of the night sky, the living Ba spirits of primordial gods that were worshipped 3,000 years before Christ walked the earth in 1,700 years before the first book of the Torah was written. Bas were depicted as birds with human heads to emphasize they could move freely anywhere in the world. In the Egyptian conception of the human condition, Ba is the mobile manifestation, Ka is the physical manifestation, and Ach represents the quality of the mind or spirit. Okay, so Ba is more like the spirit, the mobile. Ka is the stationary, sort of. It says, let the decans speak to you as you flip through this deck. The Egyptians viewed hieroglyphics as a sacred manifestation of what they represented. So when you look at the symbols on the cards, the names of the decans and the pyramid text spells behind them, you're experiencing these powerful forces the same way the ancients did. Look through the deck with an open mind. Take a moment to create your own first impression of each card. Okay. Then we have card spreads, and he shows us here. He gives us a little schematic. We've got the name of the decan and the translation of the decan's name. So there's an Egyptian name and a translation. Decan's name in hieroglyphs. Egyptian depiction of the decanal god. The background is the pyramid text spell. So we see hieroglyphs of a spell, but that's in the background of the image. Then we have the decanal number and the astrological meaning of the card. So there are 3 divination spreads designed for the Egyptian Star Oracle that work especially well with the spirit of this deck, although you're free to use any spread you're comfortable with. Although it's an oracle deck, you may use the Tarot's traditional Celtic cross spread to read these cards, provided you yet utilize the Seshmu card, which is decan 16, as your significator, or calculate the decan that is currently in power and use that card as the significator. That's awesome. There's the Life of a Star spread, birth, culmination, in the duat, and rebirth. We have the Pyramid spread, which is 10 cards. It goes early childhood, early home life, teenage years, early romantic relationships, people around you, internal circumstances or attitude, fears or hopes, greatest possible future, worst possible future, and then final outcome. Wow. And then the Hours of the Night spread, which has 12 cards. Woo. Interesting. Okay. Ritual to invoke the decans. Wow. So we have a whole little ritual here with an offering. You can create your own spell to invoke the decans, and there are plenty available on the internet, or you could use this one. I'll read the first 3 paragraphs. Hail to you, Atum, who made the sky, you who made the sky and created the universe, who came forth from nothing and formed the gods. Hail to you, lords of pure offerings, whose thrones are secret. And then it just goes through. I have brought you natron and incense. I have come so that I may expel the evil that is in my heart. I have brought you that which is good. So, yeah. You go through this, the last line in it is awake. So before I do personal readings with this deck, I will certainly do that ritual. Then we have the Egyptian calendar. The 360-day Egyptian calendar didn't quite cover the full solar year of 365 days. To remedy this, ancient Egyptians added epagomenal days. Okay, a span of 5 days of festivals devoted to the birthdays of 5 major gods. Although not exactly decans, these cards have been added to the deck to round out the Egyptian year and are labeled with letters to distinguish them from proper decans. Okay, so wait. This is, okay, 42 cards. Yes, 36, 30. I'm confused. No, sorry, I have a stray bead. I was beading this weekend and apparently one got away. So there's 37 decan cards, which is weird because if you're doing 3 decans per sign and there are 12 signs, it should be 36. And then the 5 makes 42. So I don't know. Let's go through the cards. Let's take a look after. Oh, dearie. So Egyptian calendar. Then we've got this whole thing. Wow. It gives you a thing that's only accurate in a certain places on the globe, and you can recalculate, and holy crap. Maybe to calculate what decan you're in, and then we have the decans. And we see with each card, we've got the image, we have the information that's on the image, and some additional minerals, a decan group, calendar dates, and then the card meaning, then the history, and a ritual. Okay. Okay, I had to recenter things, a little bit of a kerfuffle there. Anyway, looky, we have gilding. We have gold, gilding, and these are the backs of the card, so obviously directional. Didn't see anything about reverse anything. Forgive me with the pronunciation of the Egyptian names. I'm going to do my best. Tepia Kenmet. And wait, I want to look at one more thing here in the book, which is about these 5 gods. So we can see who's who. Okay. Unfortunately, the image of the god up in the corner here does not have, oh wait, maybe it does. Ugh. I guess, yeah, I'm confused. I don't know where this image appears. All right, onward. Tepia Kenmet, and that is predecessor of the cow, new beginnings and jubilation. Kenmet, cow or darkness, development and growth. And look at all these snakes. I did not see the image of those snakes in the five gods thing, and that's what that's supposed to show. Carry, Heped, and Kenmet under the bind part, under the hind part, under the blind priestess's eyes, under the hind part of the cow. And we see a cow giving birth, change in circumstances. Hatjat, beginning of the crane, construction and building. Pehuijat, end of the crane. So crane I'm taking as the bird crane. This is construction and building, and this one's accomplishment. So 3, 4, 5. So this would, yeah, like I said, they're talking about astrology. One more moment here. I want to see if we have references to any modern astrological signs. We do not. So I'm not really sure where they begin. Day 1, August 8th. August 23rd. Ooh, confusion. All right, so again, there's a lot of scholarship in this deck, and I think if you really want to dive in, you're going to have to do some scholarly work. All right. And this is me officially kicking out Western astrology out of my head. All right. Temat Heret, upper wing, care and nurturing. That child's a little bit old to be breastfeeding, I think. Temat Keret, lower wing, death and endings. So like upper wing is care and nurturing, then we have death and endings. Washadi Bakadi, fertility and sex. Wow. Ibjes, recovered senses, being of service. Wow. Tpia Kenet, predecessor of Kentet, truth and justice. See the scales that we're used to seeing with Mat. There's Anubis. Kentet Heret, upper Kentet, chaos. Kentet Keret, lower Kentet, conflict and war. Gemis and Kentet, red one of Kentet, restraint or the end of conflict. Wow. And their arms bound behind them. I haven't really looked that much at the images because there's so much other information. All right. Keddi, band of reeds, sowing seeds. So clearly you see him with the basket here, throwing seed onto the ground. It looks like a little bull calf. Harry Ibwia, middle of the boat or heart of the ship, journey through life. The images do certainly coincide with this part rather than this part. I mean, it does, journey, yeah, on a boat. So you think about the Six of Swords. Okay, that's the first one that's ever really spoken to me as one of the major arcana, but I haven't been paying attention, so now I will try. Seshmu, guides, wine. Okay, guides, wine press, or crew, spiritual struggles. So this is the one they said is kind of the general significator if you're doing a Celtic cross. Okay, like I said, guides, wine press, you see the wine being pressed, but here's spiritual struggles. I cannot see that in that image. I'm glad those are on the card. Kenmu, secret stars, rest and repose. Tepya Semid, predecessor of the horn, tree of life and wisdom. Is that the horn or the born? It's the horn. Okay. Semid, the horn, celebration and merriment. Music, yay. Seret, the sheep, melancholy or sadness. Sawi Seret, children of the sheep, healing. It looks like he's poking him in the eye. Ay, 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 ay. I mean, is this a lobotomy in progress, or just, fixing his eye in some way there? Keri Heped Seret, under the hind part of the sheep. But we don't have a sheep here. This is love and romance. And now I can see this more than that. I don't see no hind part of a sheep. Tepia Akhui, predecessor of the two spirits. Look how interesting. Mixed blessings. This one is clearly, these are paintings. This one is a relief that's painted. So you can tell that they've pulled these images off of actual images. Mixed blessings. Akhui, the two spirits, harvesting of rewards. We have very prominent nipples here. I find that interesting. Bawi, two souls, abundance. Look at the twos here. We had the predecessor of two spirits, the two spirits, and then two souls. Very interesting. Upper Kentu, destruction of enemies. Well, we can certainly see that. Kentu Keru, lower Kentu, authority and power. A lot of action going on in those very static Egyptian images. Ked, the potter, creation and artistry. Sawi Ked, children of the potter, possessiveness or sharing. Possessiveness or sharing. Kau, the thousands, respect and admiration. Arit, roll of papyrus, writing a person's legacy. Remen Heri Sa, upper arm of Sa, purification. How interesting that he's blue. She's blue. We've got a little belly. We've definitely got boobage. So, purification, this is taking me back to Krishna. Thank you, that name. And other gods that have that blue cast to it. Very interesting. Remen carries Sa, lower arm of Sa, illumination and revelation. Illumination or revelation. Sa, father of the gods, protection from all dangers. Tepia Saptet, predecessor of Saptet, destruction of chaos. Snake representing chaos there. Saptet, goddess of the flood, inundation. Wow. Shetwi, two tortoises, removal of obstacles. Two tortoises. I don't see no tortoises. Huh. Okay. Osiris. So here are the five gods now. A, and they don't have numbers, they have letters. God of the afterlife and fertility. He is resurrection. Horus, god of kingship, strength. Set, god of chaos, leadership. Isis, divine goddess of Egypt. She is salvation. Look at this beautiful image. Salvation. And then we have Nephthys, goddess of childbirth and mourning. Security. What is this, like a leg of lamb? Yeah, it looks like a leg of something. Huh. Childbirth and mourning. All right. Charcoal is lit. I appreciate that there are keywords on the cards that show me that, you could definitely just lay them out. Grab them and lay them out. I would have difficulty doing that, knowing how much more information is behind this. So, at any rate, let's get it blessed. Anything Egyptian. My earliest past life memories are Egyptian. So, I already vibe with this deck. If you want to know how I figured out that my earliest roots are Egyptian, search Way of Cartouche deck on the channel, and I'm sure I tell you stories. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged. And by water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. Make sure that I don't get too much water on there. That's seawater, and I use just the barest little bit, enough to carry the energy of blessing. And then, fair warning, by the sound of the bell, may the spirit awaken within you. Guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, thank you so much for bringing this deck into my hands, and help me. Help me with this deck. Help me to do a decent reading where everybody can get a good message, particularly Bug, who gifted me with this deck. And I offer you fresh water. I offer you the fire of Azrael. I want to point out, let's look at cardstock here. You see this deck is already bent. The cardstock is very thick. I mean, when you can see the flat edge of the cards, you know it's thick. And I mean, I guess I could straighten them out a little bit. Not looking forward to shuffling these. When you've got that thick edge, they can be sharp edges as well, because it's just thick. All right. Not too bad, but it's hard to bridge because they are bent that way. I'm already seeing nicks in the gilding here. So, I appreciate gilding, but it's not as important as the deck as a whole and the usability of the deck as a whole. But I am getting good shuffles, so I appreciate that. Now let's cut. All right, let's decide what we're doing here. I think we might do the Life of a Star spread. That's 4 cards. This spread uses the 4 phases of a decan's annual journey of birth, culmination, death, and rebirth to focus the power of your reading in only 4 cards. The first one, the stars heliacal rise, the birth of the decan. At this point, the star's power on Earth is still quite new. In this position, the card will show your present circumstances and the general position you're in now. 2, the culmination, highest point in the night sky that a decan will reach. This is when the star's power and its influence will be strongest. It suggests an action that may be taken to resolve the situation at hand. 3 is death of the star, when it dips below the horizon. It shows what's hiding below the surface, could also indicate hidden information that is yet to be revealed, or a talent or skill that you possess. And the 4th one is the rebirth of the star, when it appears on the horizon, again after a period of 70 days. In this position, the card shows what the future outcome events will be, and should also help guide the action suggested by 2. Tells you where you're going. All right, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to ask most especially for Bug. This is a reading for Bug. What does Bug need to know that is also a good lesson for the rest of us? What does Bug need to know right now about the situation they're in, the beginning, the culmination, the death, and the rebirth? All right, they're telling me they're done. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. 37, 17, 1, 11. We got a very good shuffle out of that, I would say. Okay. So, present circumstances and the general position is removal of obstacles. So where you are right now is in getting the things that are in your way out of the way. And if I'm reading this, if we can, open this to everyone that's watching this, we can say Yeah, what are we in the process of? We're in the process of identifying what's in the way of success, what is in the way of us coming to fruition, whatever situation you're in right now. You're getting rid of the things that are standing in the way of it coming to fruition. I'm likening this to what we're doing right now, which is just getting rid of a bunch of stuff, that hinder us and hamper us. So removal of obstacles can also just be removal of what's not necessary, removal of excess, but for bug especially, removal of obstacles, really putting your energy towards the problems, solving problems, definitely problem solving in the here and now. Let's read the card. And interestingly, we got card number 37. So, okay. No, it still doesn't make sense. Anyhow, this is Shetwi, 2 tortoises. The transliteration, and they show the name as it's spelled on the card, and then in parentheses they give a pronunciation, which is very much appreciated. Translation: 2 tortoises. Egyptian name STWY. So you can see that the Egyptian, what's represented by S, is pronounced as SH, like Shekmet. Egyptian calendar dates: 5 days from 4 Shemu 31 Achet 1. Yeah, okay. The Deccan group is epagomenal days. Minerals are carnelian and gold. Now, epagonemal? Are they going to give us what these things mean? I'm looking for this thing again. I don't see any words except for the names of the cards. Epag. Okay, but there's a thing that says all right. I don't know what that means. I think we have to read the whole Egyptian calendar thing. So I'm just going to skip. Card meaning: removal of obstacles. According to the Nous of decades, Shetwi was the head of the slaughterers and the smile demons. There's some challenging words here, particularly because most of them have no vowels and the vowels are done in capitals, so it's interesting. Assigning them tasks of life and death. Okay, so Shetwi was the head of the slaughterers and the demons. This may sound scary at first, but consider that the slaughterers were tasked with destroying the enemies of Egypt, and the demons were responsible for protecting Egypt from evil in general. You might think of them as running offense and defense for the benefit of the country as a whole. In that spirit, Shetwi relates to overcoming obstacles. The card depicts 2 animal herders trying to move a giraffe with ropes, although it might just as easily have pictured them trying to prod a large tortoise into moving faster. Okay, the ropes are very hard to see, but they're there. Everyone faces challenges that seem insurmountable from time to time, and moving past them usually requires strength, intelligence, or both. With a little luck, the passage of time can render an obstacle obsolete, so even when it seems that there's no solution to a problem, patience can allow the problem to resolve itself. That's really interesting. All right, the history. The 37th Deccan was devoted to the 5 epagomenal days that were added to align the 360-day Egyptian calendar with the 365-day solar calendar. Okay, they did explain it. This means Shetwi only covers half of a typical Egyptian week. The glyph for this Deccan is 2 or 3 tortoises, and the name Shetwi can literally be interpreted to mean multiple female tortoises. Oddly, the ancient Egyptians regarded the tortoise with fear and awe. It was associated with powers of darkness, night, and evil. What the hell? Spell 368 in the coffin texts, wherein the deceased wards off eating unclean food in the underworld, includes a desire not to eat tortoises. The Book of Gates from the alabaster sarcophagus of Seti I paints
the tortoise, as the enemy of Re, repeating 3 times, Re lives, the tortoise dies. Ritual. In ritual work, Shetwi is a guide and can make a path where none existed before. The Nous of the Decades states, he will make an open road for the justified in front of the bark of Re and will guide you on a good path. For detailed information on how to perform the ritual to invoke this decan, use this card and refer to the instructions beginning on page 21. So you take this general ritual, and it has the tools that you need, and one of those tools is one of the cards. And then you do the thing. I guess that's kind of it. All right, so removal of obstacles. And tortoises are evil, is what I take from that. Now, number 2 is Decan 17. Kenmu. The translation is Secret Stars. The Egyptian calendar is 2 Peret 11 through 20. Decan group is Boat. And the minerals are carnelian and gold. Decan group is Boat. So it would be cool to see, and I don't know that it's on this freaking chart here, like things grouped and sorted. Okay, Egyptian calendar. And we don't have like boat or sheep or anything like that. So, it talks about what their group is. Boat, sheep, 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 sheep. 2 souls, 2 souls. All right. So, onward. Card meaning. Rest and repose. You sometimes need to step away from your duties and responsibilities to get a break from the hectic pace of life. And I forgot, this position is the highest point in the night sky. In this position, the card suggests an action that may be taken to resolve the situation at hand. This is rest and repose. And the very end of this card said sometimes just being patient is how things get changed. Just waiting. And this would indicate an action to be taken is no action. Obstacles are going to get worked out, which tells me, Bug, that there are certain things that are going to get worked out not by you, but by others. So it's like when you lay the groundwork and you say, I want to get these obstacles out of my way, and then you tell that to the right entity, you can then sit back and let that entity do their work. All right? So for everybody in general, look at the obstacles that you're trying to get rid of, and there's a certain way in which you don't need to do anything but kind of sit back and let things take care of themselves. Now that right there should help you define what obstacles we're talking about. Because there are some that clearly you have to deal with, There are others that if you put them on the back burner, it would seem this is saying they will just take care of themselves. Now, the history is very long here. And I'm going to just skip through. The translation of this decan's name merits some examination. The hieroglyph is composed of 4 separate characters that combine to create a compound word. So it's going on and on and on. All right. As the final decan of the boat group, symbolizing the journey through life and spirit, it's fitting that Kenmu stands for the rest and repose that comes with death. This is different from the death and endings found on the Temat Keret card, as Kenmu indicates true rest and an opportunity to recharge your batteries, not death. So this is a rest in action, in the action, Death is an ending, period. All right, each decanal star undergoes a period of rest of approximately 70 days when it no longer appears in the night sky. The star is said to be resting in the duat until it experiences a glorious rebirth. All right. The ritual. In ritual work, Kenmu is a powerful avenging and protective force. So you just say, this is the thing that I really want to activate, and then you plug it into the ritual. Okay. Number 3 is in the duat. So, what is hiding beneath the surface, whether it's a talent or a skill or hidden information to be revealed, and we have new beginnings and jubilation. So we have the number 1 card here. The Decan group is cow. The mineral is unknown. New beginnings and jubilation. Not only is this a card of new beginnings, but it's also one of jubilation. It represents promises kept, a fresh start, and new opportunities that will begin to emerge in the coming months. Some of these opportunities may yet be unknown, but they will reveal themselves in time. The meaning of this card is depicted as a man, a cowherd, leading a cow. In addition to new beginnings, this card may also represent leadership, a specific person who's a leader or a mentor who's going to steer you in a positive direction. Now, information has yet to be revealed. So I'm thinking that as you kind of kick back and let someone else do the work of removing obstacles more easily than you could yourself, there's information that will be coming to light that's going to bring jubilation. I think this means good news, you know? Something coming to the surface. Information comes to the surface, and it's good news. All right. It can also talk about, you know, just a sense of happiness, rediscovering or discovering for the first time your own just sense of internal happiness. Okay, let's look at the last one. Chaos. And this one is, the card shows what the future outcome events will be and should also help guide the action suggested by this one. And we have chaos. Holy shit. Can't say I'm happy to see that one, really. This is the Kentet group. The minerals are smoky quartz and gold. It means upper Kentet. Okay, chaos. Although chaos is a powerful force that can twist and turn through your life, it can be controlled and turned to your service. The most chaotic moments in your life are when things seem to be out of your control, when the entire world appears to be turning against you. However, an important characteristic of chaos is that it is a slithering snake that is constantly moving. This movement reminds you that your present conditions are not permanent and change is always just around the corner. After wrapping you in its coils, the snake of chaos will be defeated by truth and slither away. I need some water. So even though the card is chaos, it's wrapped in this message of things are changing. They're always changing. That's what chaos is. It's change, right? Unexpected change. So this is reminding us that when we feel that things are chaotic, it says that everything is moving, and that, you know, the chaos that has wrapped you up in this moment is getting ready to move on. Chaos or unexpected turmoil is never pleasant, but it is a necessary part of life. If everything were perfect all the time, you would not appreciate the beneficial experiences as much as you do. You cannot always control your circumstances. Even very powerful people are subject to the whims of fate. Throughout the history of Egypt, many pharaohs were overthrown, just as Osiris was, but eventually Set was defeated and Horus restored order. In your own life, chaos cannot reign forever, so it should be viewed as a temporary condition. Okay, so if we look at this, it was saying, you know, an outcome that could shed some light on what you need to do now. I'm seeing here that there are others working for you to remove obstacles. You just have to wait on that. Something gets restarted that you're not really expecting now. And in the chaos, it's saying, when processes take over or new information comes to light and you get dates, schedules, here's what, the plan kind of becomes clear, the way becomes clear. It can kind of throw what you have expected into turmoil. Now I've got to hinge everything in my life around this event that's going to happen at this time or whatever is being planned here. And it's saying the rest and repose. What do we do in the middle of chaos? We have to keep ourselves even more still. I was telling my sister about a dream I had a couple decades ago. And it was a wolf and a lion, which have always been my two biggest totems. And I will give you a whole bunch of details, but I'm sitting on this big stone in the middle of this grassy thing, and they are on either side of me, and they're just, the lion is roaring, the wolf is howling, it is deafening, and I'm terrified. And suddenly they start to run around me, and they get closer and closer to me, and they're running so close I can feel their fur touching me. And I'm terrified, but then I sit and think, wait, just calm down. And I ground and I get myself very calm. And as I am calming myself, they slow down, slow down, slow down, and go away. So this is a great time to do recorded meditations or to practice meditation and practice just getting your body calm. Relaxation response is something we have to relearn. Babies have it automatically. They just kind of relax, let's hope. But as adults, we get the stress response just drilled into us through our lives. And so stress is natural, and we're just constantly in that stress mode. So you have to, again, consciously learn to relax those muscles, to acknowledge when these muscles are really tight, and to relax them. So this is what we do when the shit hits the fan. But I think there's good news to come out. And it says, a skill, and coming under rest and repose like that, I think you need to acknowledge that you do have skills of maintaining and being still and calm when things are kind of chaotic. But obstacles are being removed. That's the best news. And the chaos here, I think, just says that there are big changes coming, and whatever shows up that throws the expected into a chaotic feeling state, that if you get calm, you tap into that rest and repose, acknowledge that because that when you feel the chaos, it's because it is peaking, and then it will start to tame and go away. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot that I'm going to do with this deck. There's a lot to learn here. A lot of reading to do, but I'm very attracted to it. It certainly made sense. If I went with just the keywords, I would have shortchanged myself. So you do want to read the card meanings when you're doing a reading with this deck, because I never would have looked at chaos as having that much of a positive spin that hold on. Call you back in a minute, Doris. So there's that positive spin of, at the peak, when you're feeling the chaos, it says that the serpent is getting ready to move away. So let me know what you think, you guys. Are you tempted? Are you attracted to this deck? Again, Travis McHenry shows a lot of scholarships with his decks, and I appreciate it because it's not a lot. There are some like Matthews, Caitlin Matthews, John Matthews, where it's like there's a lot, like in the Celtic Book of Death. Is that what it's called? Book of the Dead. Lots and lots to read before you really get the thing. But this, I feel, is usable right away with just a little bit of reading, but then there's depth. There's a lot that you can learn about this Egyptian calendar structure. So So if you liked this video, hit that like button or subscribe if you haven't done that already. Hit the bell so you know when I'm dropping videos, and check out, watch for live streams. I am intending one this week. We will see how that goes. I'll see you next time, you guys. And until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.